Welcome to Cabo Mil News and Community Update in English. Today is October 3rd, and we are recording this for October 4th, Sunday at 6 p.m. on 96.3 FM Cabo Mil Radio. This is Corey Riggs with Claudia Velo. Claudia, how's it going today?
It's going well, I would say. All things considered, we're doing well.
Yeah, and the weather is getting nicer, and I mean, you can't complain. This morning I was walking my dog, and there's a full moon, and the sun was coming
Beautiful. Beautiful. This harvest moon was just spectacular. It started, I think, the first night that it was just extraordinary was on the 30th, and then the last two nights have been just spectacular. I've always said that the moons in Cabo are unlike anywhere else, you know. Sometimes it feels like it's so close, and I don't know if it's the humidity, our latitude, what it is, but it's always extraordinary. But this one, even I was out last night when it first came out, and oh my God, spectacular.
No, one of my favorite stories. One of my best friends here is Lee Vosberg, who is the owner of SUR and the Bahia Hotel, and him and I were complaining about something. This was about 8 years ago, and we were complaining about how hard our life was or whatever. And I remember we were just coming off the golf course, of course, and we looked up, and there's the moon, and then on the other side was the sun, and we're like, okay, what are we doing? And we just moved on and realized we live in the best place in the world, which I want to say again, that we live in the best place in the world. And that jumps us right into what level we're going to.
Yes, the best place in the world, and it's going on to level 3. We are in yellow now. So the new normal, green, is ever so close. So really good news. The number of cases, of new cases, and the number of active cases have been lower than the past weeks, and it has leveled off. Hotel occupancy is on the rise, but hospital occupancy has dropped.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's the right direction we want to go with hotel and hospital occupancy.
Yeah, exactly. So actually, there are no COVID patients at private hospitals reported for this past week, and that's really good news. So all those things together in terms of the indicators of where we are with this COVID outbreak are leading the health authorities to make this decision. And starting October 5, we will be at level 3, which is yellow. And that means that public spaces like public parks and beaches can operate at 50% of their capacity.
Okay.
And then the businesses that are allowed to open can work with one person per every 32 square feet. So it's all good news.
Yeah, no, that's great. It's really good to hear. And we also have a sponsor this week that we want to.
We do. It's Casa Calavera, and they just reopened. It was October 1st that Casa Calavera reopened. As you know, Casa Calavera is this Day of the Dead inspired restaurant, and they are located inside Vidanta Loscabos in Sanjosedelcabo. For now, they're open for dinner from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. And so it's all good news because now we can go back to enjoying really tasty tacos. It's a lovely Mexican atmosphere. And if you're a local, you get 20% off your entire bill. So make sure you take advantage of that. And when you're there, ask for your local discount, 20% off your entire bill. You make sure also to reserve through either OpenTable or casacalavera.com because they are following all the social distancing protocols, and you have to make a reservation. So that's important.
Well, and just like Casa Calavera, if you want to reach your English-speaking audience, this is the best place to do it.
Of course.
Cabo Mil News and Community Update. We also go on Facebook. You can follow us on Facebook Live at Cabo Mil News. We either are live or sometimes we put the recording on the Facebook page, but definitely follow us there. You get a lot of bonus material on the Facebook page. We always have our show 6 p.m. on Sunday evenings, and you can send us a message on Facebook Cabo Mil News if you are interested in sponsoring the show. And we've got a lot of new sponsors coming up, so we're very excited about that. Why don't you talk about a little bit, there's some news out there, lots of news actually. And we talked about the level 3 thing, and there's something coming out of the United States right now about Trump having COVID, which I think is, it just makes a crazy season even crazier.
Right. I mean, that was breaking news a couple nights ago, and no one could believe it. He, as everybody knows, was on the campaign trail. One of his really close persons that have been that have been helping with the campaign tested positive. From what has been published, there were periodic tests to make sure that everybody stayed healthy, and President Trump and Melania have both tested positive. They are going into quarantine. They're of course under the best possible care. There has been some, what can we call it? Controversy?
Well, there's always controversy when it comes to him, but he's actually gone to the hospital now. And they say, there's conflicting reports coming out. And there's also conflicting reports about how he got it, because he was at an event with the new Supreme Court justice and announcing that. And a lot of people didn't have masks on, and whatever you think about that. But there were several people at that event that have now tested positive, which I personally find fascinating, since I've said this on the program before. I had COVID, and I was around people for the time that I was supposedly the most contagious, several people, and not one of them got it. So I just think there's a lot of we don't really understand how this works. But because my personal experience has been different.
And I mean, because they were traveling in the plane together, and how many of those people have actually gotten it?
Mm-hmm.
So is it that we have reached herd immunity, or certain groups of people have achieved immunity, so that's why we're seeing less cases? I mean, and this is of course all conjecture. No one knows.
Yeah, we don't play doctors. We're not doctors. We don't.
We don't know. We don't know. But a lot of the things that are out there, when you listen to them and when you read the background, you don't know what to believe.
No. But what I am happy to be in a place where the cases are getting less, and we're opening up more, and we're inviting the world to come visit Cabo. It's the best place to come. And I think people in the United States are starting to figure that out, because the planes are getting fuller. People are coming down here. The beaches are open. And it's a great place to be, because there's other places in the world right now that are shutting down again. And I just hope and pray that we just keep moving forward and opening up. And I think we will.
Yes. And this has a lot to do with the messages of both the governor of Bajacaliforniasur, Carlos Mendoza Davis, and the mayor of Los Cabos, Armida Castro. Both have said we are moving forward. All the indicators are moving in the right direction. We have less new cases. The active cases have also lessened. We have less people that died from the disease. But also the state is conducting more tests, and those tests are coming back negative. So that's also good news. Mm-hmm. And as we open up, and as new businesses open, and as especially more activities where people will come together become available, both the governor and the mayor have said it is very important for everybody to remain responsible and to do the things that we have been talking about for the past 6 months now, which is wear your face mask when you're in public spaces, frequent hand washing, frequent use of antibacterial gel with high percentage high alcohol content, and just as much as possible try to avoid crowds. We know that people are now, a lot of them, they just want to go out and be with other people.
Just ready to get out.
That's really good. I think we all want that.
And I always like to add on to these recommendations, because the mask, the gel, and the social distancing, those are great. But also add on, eat healthy, get some sun, get out, get some vitamin D. We know zinc we've heard from everybody, zinc, vitamin D, those things help. Just keep healthy, keep your immune system up.
Yeah.
Get out and work out too. And that's, we had Modu on for Motivated Gym, and I know that they're very happy too that the level is going down because there's more people that can work out now. So get out and get healthy and stay healthy. So all good news coming from
a healthy
that.
diet is key. Definitely. A healthy diet is the best thing you can do for your body, for your health, and even for you sleep better, you have more clarity,
It's all about the immune system. And I like talking about the proactive things we can do, not just the reactive of, we're going to stay inside and mask and all those things.
No.
Those are things that people say work and that they recommend. And I'm not against those. What I'm saying is, what are the proactive things that people can do to get out and get their immune systems in a place that works? So Cabo is open. We're ready to bring people.
Positive state of mind. Also, there's really interesting studies about how a positive state of mind boosts your immune system.
Absolutely.
And if you're going to be in a place where there's a positive state of mind, Cabo is it.
It's here.
We have to appreciate that.
Absolutely. Well, there's a couple other news items that came out this week that were very interesting. And one had to do with the fideicomisos. And fideicomisos is the contract that people from foreigners need to get to own land within 50 kilometers of the ocean in Mexico. And it's not actually owning land. It's a long-term contract lease that renews every 50 years. You can correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, Claudia.
You're right about everything so far.
But there was a lot of confusion. I had questions from a lot of my American friends here about what's happening. And I understand that you were able to sit down with Eric Hoffman, and he was a notario here, and talk about what happened with fideicomisos because they were suspended. Will you tell us a little bit about what happened there, and then we can listen to that interview?
Yeah, there was a news item last week also about fideicomisos are authorized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and they issued a news release saying that they were going to suspend new fideicomisos, and they were also going to suspend the ones that were in process of being authorized. And this had to do with their system or something. It created a bit of panic in areas like Los Cabos, where there is a lot of real estate transactions with foreigners. And so that's why we reached out to Notary Eric Hoffman. And well, let's listen to what he had to say. Licenciado Hoffman, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for the invitation, Claudia.
And can you tell our listeners what is the difference between a notary in the U.S. and a notary in Mexico?
Well, yes, a notary in Mexico is somebody that has been appointed by the state government through a qualification process, and the notary is the person who is responsible. It has to be an attorney, and is a person that is in charge of providing the formality to all the legal acts that requires formalities by multiple laws in Mexico. Our legal system compared with the US legal system is very different. We came from a Roman tradition, so everything is very formalistic, as different than in the States. So exactly. The notary is appointed for that purpose. It has to be an expert, and we have a lot of responsibilities through the processes that we are in charge. We are responsible to provide legal advice, the proper legal advice. And in front of the Mexican government in different levels, we are responsible to calculate, withhold, and pay taxes, to fulfill obligations in terms of multiple laws and foreign investment law, for example, and recently in obligations related with anti-money laundering laws So,
Exactly. Well, earlier this week, there were news about the suspension of fideicomisos. And this, of course, was something of interest for foreigners who are purchasing land in Mexico, purchasing property. Can you please explain, first of all, what is a fideicomiso and how does this suspension affect those purchases?
okay. I think that the persons that are listening us in Los Cabos are more or less familiar with the fideicomiso. The fideicomiso is a mercantile agreement regulated by mercantile law, and for purposes of owning property on the restricted zone as defined by the Mexican Constitution, that is a strip of 50 kilometers with alongside the coastal areas and 100 kilometers in the international border. The fideicomiso is the only way for a foreigner to purchase with commas land, to quote exactly, because you put the property under a trust and in which a Mexican banking institution participate, and the bank is who legally owns the property and provide the foreigner all the rights to use and enjoy the land. So all this came from a prohibition established in the Constitution many, many years ago that has been maintained there. So most recently, the fideicomiso, beginning in 1973 approximately, was authorized with as a legal vehicle for foreigners to enjoy and purchase land in Mexico. The situation you referred that we learned earlier this week was a resolution that was published in the official gazette of the Federation, of the federal government, in which the Foreign Relations Ministry, which is the authority in charge of issuing and authorizing the fideicomisos, suspended the terms to qualify and resolve applications for new trust. Obviously, this was done in a way that was very general, and the reasons why this resolution was issued were not completely clear. Fortunately, all the sectors involved, the chambers of commerce, the associations of attorneys and notaries, and many others. So everybody reacted very quickly, and fortunately the federal government was able to respond very quickly. Yesterday we had a conversation like we are having today via Zoom with the General Direction of Legal Affairs of the Foreign Relations Ministry, and he explained that was not the intention to create this preoccupation to everybody, but due to the pandemic situation that we have, they don't have all the people working in place, and aside of that, their technological platform that they are using to process these applications was not working properly. So they are working to resolve all the technical issues and glitches for this platform. And they offer that by middle of October, the latest, this situation will be resolved, and we will go back to normal in this type of processes. So that is good news. I think that probably a lack of communication in the document created this situation, but now things are clear. Yesterday, the same authority issued letters to the participants in these conversations, and they reiterated that the problem will be fixed the latest by the middle of October. Meantime, they agreed that they will continue processing the applications via email. So, well, it will take a few days, we hope, for this to be fixed, but there's nothing else behind this situation.
So basically, the fact that they reacted quickly are definitely good news, and there is no need to panic, as it was the first reaction was great concern regarding how this was going to affect the real estate market everywhere in coastal areas, but specifically here in Los Cabos.
Yes, that's correct. I think that was probably a mistake by not communicating properly the reasons and not establishing that they were working in the solution of this. But they were open, and we have to acknowledge that. They were very open and very open. They provide the explanations. So I think that there's no reason to be panicked for this situation.
It's great news, Claudia. I'm glad you were able to interview him and find out that this is not a big deal, because a lot of my friends were very nervous about that, and
yeah,
they just, what's happening? Some were involved in closings actually, even so. It was
yeah. Fortunately, as we know, the process is a long process, and the fact that now they're going to handle them via email until mid-October, so really not a big deal, fortunately.
Well, we're going to take a short break, and we have a musician named Mauricio Montes de Oca. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did. You did. I mean, you're becoming so proficient. It's amazing.
But so he's going to be coming back with us in the next segment, and we have some other very interesting things to talk about. There's a new documentary on Netflix that we're going to touch on called The Social Dilemma, and we have a talk about that, which we encourage everyone to watch because it's amazing. But we will be back right after this break. Stay tuned. And welcome back to Cabo Mil News and Community Update in English with Claudia Velo and Corey Riggs. We have a great show today, and we want to welcome Mauricio Montes de Oca to the program. He's a musician. He plays, I just found out he plays the guitar and the piano, and we're gonna find out more about him. But Mauricio, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you very much. I'm so glad, and it's for me an honor to be here in your program. First of all, I want to say sorry if I make grammar mistakes. Actually, this is my first time speaking English in front of the radio or an audience, and I don't remember when was the last time I practiced my English. So I'll try to be the best at talking and expressing me. So thank you for inviting me to this program, and I'm glad.
No, you're doing very well. And one of the things that Claudia and I are dedicated to is we know that during the COVID time, it's been very difficult for musicians. And so we want to get people out there, get people back playing again. And so this is a nice platform for us to be able to have you do that. Claudia, why don't you take over?
Hola, Mauricio. Thank you for being here with us. So I know, and now our public will know, you started playing music at a very young age. You're still a baby. I mean, you're what, 23 now? How old?
Yeah, 23. Yeah.
23. And you started playing when you were what, 15 or something like that?
Yeah, 15. Yes. Actually, I started playing before, but I wrote my first 5 songs when I was 15.
Oh, wow.
And those are the ones that are in your first album?
Yes, exactly.
And what's the name of your album?
The name of my album is Cinco para Cuatro in Spanish. In English is like 5, 4, 4.
5 for 4, yes.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about the name of your album?
Yeah, actually, I start this album. I wrote my first love story. When I was younger, when I was 15, I had my first love. And actually, I write all my story in 5 songs. And I want to tell you first that the name 544 is because in all love story, you need 4 main elements. The first one is the beginning. You know, you are in the first date, you are discovering new things about the person. So that is the beginning. Then the second one is the middle time, the middle. You know, it's like you are with the person that you both of us are couple, and they're gonna start the some feelings like the first kiss, the things that you feel in your stomach, you know,
Butterflies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The third one is the climax. I don't know if it's saying in English.
Yeah,
climax. Yeah, it's the taller or the most explosive feelings in the story. All the feelings and the emotions explode in one, you know.
Yeah.
And then the fourth and the last one is the end. And in most of the love stories, the end is hard. It hurts. The end is hard because for 2 people, how do you say in Spanish? Para que 2 personas. How do you say in English?
For 2 people. For 2 people.
Yeah. Exactly. For 2 people lose the love, it exists 2 ways, just 2 ways. A break heart, you know, they break up for something, and death. And both break your heart, you know. It hurts.
Yeah.
That is the 5 songs englobe these 4 main elements.
Okay, wow. and you wrote this when you were 15, so it just...
Yeah.
I never thought about love this way. It does. It ends either one of 2 ways: death, or you break up, or death. I mean, that's amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, in when I was 15, I was very poet. I don't know if it's in English is okay.
Yeah,
poet.
You're a poet.
Yeah, I was very deep with my feelings, and actually the only way that I have to express myself is with the music or writing. I have my book, actually my live book.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
like your journal, como tu diario.
Journal, exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Mauricio, why don't you play something for us? Why don't we start with a song, and then we'll keep talking.
Okay.
Yeah. So
if I can stop crying.
I know, but first tell us about your guitar, because your guitar has a name.
Yeah, exactly. My guitar is a girl, and she's name is Sophia. Actually, the name of Sophia is a name that I have in my mind since very long time, because I dream about I have a girl, like a girl, and when in the future I want to be that, and I am dreaming with my daughter, and the name that they told me in my dreams is Sophia, and this one my first guitar, so I named Sophia because of that. And actually Sophia in Spanish means sabiduría,
knowledge,
with
wisdom.
Wisdom, exactly. Wisdom. Yeah. So for me, it's my wisdom. It's the thing that it gives me wisdom.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So the story of my first album is the beginning, very beautiful. I saw her to her eyes, and I fell in love just for seeing her eyes.
Love it
then,
first.
Yeah, it's the first, exactly, and it's the first song. Then we start to be a couple, and start all the new feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that we must separate because I finished the high school and I went to the college, exactly. So that the second song finished like, oh, I need more time to be with you. This cannot be the over, you know, the end. So the third song is when we were separate and everything is it's a dream. It's just a dream. And the fourth song is about I'm gonna back for you. I'm gonna rescue our love because it's how do you say se está terminando? It's
coming to an end.
Coming to
an end. Yeah. And the final song is when I realize that everything is gone. So I'm gonna. Which song or which part do you want to hear? The first one or the middle? Or, you tell me.
You pick, Claudia.
No. Whatever you prefer
Whatever
to share
want,
with us. Yes.
Ella nos castigó, desconocida, logró debilitar tu sonrisa. También la música que siempre nos hizo empezar, extrañarnos todo el tiempo, acariciar al pensamiento. Ya viví en el deseo. Tú me has lastimado con tu ausencia. Tonto no es y volverá. Ya ves cómo es el amor que no te deja olvidar. Y empiezas de poeta, pero terminas en la banqueta, seduciendo canciones eternas que dejan huella en tu alma en pena. Volveré, volveré, te lo juro amor que volveré, para verte una vez más. Para empezar, volveré, volveré, te lo juro amor que volveré, para conquistarte otra vez, volveré. ¿Quién dice que no es igual la conexión que tú y yo tuvimos? Para mí no hay diferencia, porque mi amor y mi paciencia no tienen límites ni fronteras. Yo cruzaría una montaña entera. Volveré, volveré, te lo juro amor que volveré, para verte una vez más. Para empezar, volveré, volveré, te lo juro amor que volveré, para conquistarte otra vez. Te lo juro amor. Te amo demasiado, no quiero compartir con la distancia tus labios, no quiero ver llegar contigo el amanecer. amanecer contigo, amor. Ay, ay, yo quiero ver el amanecer contigo, amor.
Yep. Wow, what a great song. And just for everybody watching on Facebook Live, we actually had to put that song from his Spotify version, which is amazing because we had some audio problems when he was playing it live. But what a great, we just want to thank Mauricio for being here. We'll have all his information of how you get a hold of him. He's a great songwriter. What a wise person for being so young. It's incredible.
The fact that he can get the whole 4 stages of love at 15 just kind of blows me away. I don't think I've thought about and still trying to figure it out.
And I don't think I've thought about that last stage of love, and it's a little bit depressing. I mean, I guess that's how it ends: death or breaking up. So.
Either or, yeah.
That's how it always ends.
There you go.
Oh my gosh! Well, you know, the other thing we wanted to talk about today was The Social Dilemma, which is a new documentary that's on Netflix, and it is unbelievable. If you're in Facebook Live, you're going to see we're putting it up here so you can check it out. But we recommend you got to go on and watch. I think it's about an hour long. You haven't seen it yet, have you, Claudia?
I started watching. It's an hour and 34 minutes long.
Okay.
And it was a little too scary for me.
Well, I want to put up this quote that I think made me think twice and almost made me just erase my Facebook page right away. And I think that's funny when you say erase a Facebook page right away, as we're on Facebook Live and as we promote this on Facebook, which is part of the tool. It's a powerful tool for good, which we're going to talk about in a second. But I just want to put this quote up that you see. If you're not paying for the product, then you are the product.
Absolutely.
That blew me away. And that is what this Social Dilemma talks about, is that, hey, Facebook's for free. And I'm obviously putting my quotes in the air here. And Instagram's for free. And LinkedIn and all these things are, a lot of them for free. And how are they getting money? Well, they're getting money through advertising. And why are the advertising paying? Because they know through the analytics, what your reactions are going to be.
Data mining. That's what it is.
It's unbelievable. And the interesting thing about this documentary is it's all ex-executives from all the biggest Facebook. 2 presidents of Facebook are on there. There's a gentleman it was part of the ethical team of Google, and he left because he didn't feel like it was ethical anymore. And there's a lot of conversation at the beginning of the documentary about how, when social media started, it was all done for good. It was, and a lot of good things. And we talked about this.
There's been movements for good that were based on social networks. The one part and that's when I had to stop watching, not because of the show, but because of my schedule, which is another thing. But the expert in addictions from Stanford University, how she talks about the fact that it's all designed to keep you there, and to make you crave that, and you feel like you're being reinforced and that you're actually connecting with people that you don't even know. And then you feel, because there's a certain sense of anonymity that you feel like you can say things that you normally wouldn't do with the people who actually know you. And that's how they mine all this data from you and from your behaviors, and how they can then push Big Brother or whoever.
Yeah, which is always an interesting topic.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sharing something right now that you're talking about addiction. And one of the other, this is a quote from Edward Tufte, and it says, there are only 2 industries that call their customers users: illegal drugs and software. And so when you talk about addiction, it's so interesting that we call people users of Facebook, users of Instagram. And it's fascinating because another point that's brought out in this documentary is that we used to use technology as a tool. But now this technology, whenever we're using software and those types of things, now this technology has its own goals. Yeah. And the goals are to keep you engaged, to keep mining data from you. And when they can mine enough data from you, they have enough information to guarantee advertisers what their returns are going to be. It's the only time in history that advertisers, when they put up an ad, they're almost 100% guaranteed they know what the return is going to be. And that should be scary for make everybody take a pause.
That's the whole thing. And the way the software has evolved, where it's now evolving towards artificial intelligence, that it's becoming more intelligent than the user. There's a great interview with Elon Musk 2 years ago, where he was talking to all these programmers and breakthrough people in artificial intelligence, where he asks them to stop what they're doing. Because as these softwares become self-aware, it will get to the point where everything can be predicted. And we're still in the stage where it's based on users. Like, there is still control of what is the input that goes into all these systems. But as things continue to evolve, there will come a time where everything will be monitored, and the human factor will be left to the side. And then whoever they are that manipulate all this information will really have power. That's scary.
It's interesting because Elon Musk, other people like that have also been taught, all this face recognition software. And something that I always find fascinating is one of the things that made Leonardo da Vinci one of the most incredible painters of all time, or sculptor and all artists, is he knew everything about facial expression. He knew what emotion caused the micro movements in the face. And it was almost, and that's why you see the Mona Lisa, you see other of his paintings, he's got micro movements in the face based on emotions. And he knew that then. So imagine now all this AI that is watching all the micro movements in the face, and then the actions that we're taking online. And this social dilemma talks about every action we take online is being recorded. How many seconds we look at a certain image, what things we're looking for on Google. WhatsApp is talking to Facebook. They're all talking to each other. They all know all these big algorithms. So when you start thinking about that, they know just by the facial micro movements, what people are thinking. And they're actually talking about, and there's a term that is, what's the term? It's capitalism. I'll think of it in a second, but it's, you know what product to put up that person is most vulnerable to buy right now. Yeah. And that is, to me, it's surveillance capitalism. And so they're surveying you, they see you everywhere. And Edward Snowden talked about this. He talked about in 2013, if you ever saw his movie, that the camera that we're looking in right now to do this show is actually being used to look at us. And that was 2013, 7 years ago. So you start to imagine what's happened. And anyway, it can go on and on. So why don't we talk about the good things social media?
Yes, and at the same time, there is no doubt that social media has helped, especially this time when the world went into lockdown, and the things that were accomplished could not have been accomplished unless there was social media and this type of digital platforms. And one of those really good things was the Bajacaliforniasur Community Alliance, which,
absolutely,
wow, talk about accomplishments and about exceeding expectations and really going above and beyond when circumstances were not favorable in the least.
And social media really helped us get the word out, and it helped us get more people involved. And we've been celebrating not the closure of the Community Alliance. The Community Alliance is now evolving into a new thing, but we had the chance to go to La Paz last week with the Security Alliance, with the Security committee and
Yep.
with all the armed forces, because they really played a big role in this, the police, the armed forces, National Guard, to help us get the food out, which over 215,000 food baskets, incredible amount of food baskets, almost $5 million raised. And a lot of it had to do with, we were able to get the message out on social media, and people were able to get help, no help was coming, and those types of things. But there were some great things that happened this week with the Community Alliance. And I don't know if you want to say a few other words. They've been going around giving the reconocimientos, the
awards, the
award. Thanks, I'm thinking in Spanish too. The awards for
you and Mauricio have been hanging out.
The award for all the businesses, over 100 businesses, 90 nonprofits, and it's just been an incredible week.
It's been incredible. It was last Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday, that you went to La Paz. I think it was Thursday.
Thursday, correct.
And it was very important to acknowledge the help and support that the armed forces, the Army, the Navy, the National Guard, the state police provided to the Bajacaliforniasur Community Alliance. Like you said, 217,000 despensas delivered, 97,000 families received this food throughout the entire state. We reached like the furthest little homestead communities. The volunteers, the work of the volunteers, 200 volunteers, 85,000 man hours of volunteering, walking. Please go to the Community Alliance Facebook page, social media. There are videos there that show the roads that the volunteers had to walk. And I know that I always talk about how much these despensas weigh. Now picture that, climbing up those roads on foot. These are the roads that have no pavement. There's loose rocks. There's all these. And it's just the commitment of really hundreds of people wanting to help. And also yesterday when Lucia Frausto from Como Vamos La Paz and Marisa Comella from Loscabos Children's Foundation and Elena Moreno from the Cancer Registry and CERCA were here in Los Cabos thanking the companies that supported the work of the Alliance. They were mentioning the fact that out of 214 volunteers, only 4 got COVID. And because of the training and the commitment and the way that everybody worked to make sure that things were done right. But beyond that, the fact that the Alliance brought peace and guaranteed social stability throughout our state, when there was a feeling of void and despair. People didn't know what was going to happen, how long it was going to last. And the Alliance, thanks to the work of lots of people, really provided something that was much, much needed in the state. And so many people should be so proud of their accomplishments. I mean, hats off to everybody.
Absolutely, and what was so great about being at the table at the security committee up in La Paz is when they were talking about how they've never seen another state, and a lot of the generals from the Army, the Navy, the National Guard, and we had the police chief there, and of course the government representative, of the governor, and it was amazing them saying we've never seen all these different branches work together like this in any other place. And we're so proud to do this all together. And, and on that same point, I don't think there's another place in the world where Mexicans and Americans and Canadians and everybody from every socioeconomic class and it work together like this. Yeah. And in all the businesses and the nonprofits. And it's something very special about Los Cabos. It's why I call it my home. And why I always say it's the best place in the world to be, not only during COVID times, which it definitely is right now, but at all times. And it's just a great community feeling. And I think this Baja California Sur Community Alliance really highlights that. There's a lot of work being done in the nonprofit sector right now where it's a lot about collaboration. Different groups are collaborating together, and it's great to be part of that. And it's been fun to watch as the Community Alliance is celebrating what has happened, and then talking about what the next goals are. And obviously, we've talked about too before, Claudia, this is not over. There's still a lot of people that are unemployed, a lot of restaurants, a lot of businesses are not going to come back. And there's still a lot of need, and we are transitioning to support some of the community kitchens through the Community Security Alliance, and it is very needed to still get donations. And there are going to be volunteer opportunities in the future. And the other thing that's happening is a lot of nonprofits out there did not get a chance to raise money. They lost their season, and now they're in a crisis of operations. And so the grant-making organizations like El Dorado, and Chileno Bay Foundation, ICF, LCCF, Loscabosnews Foundation, National Community Foundation, these organizations are looking to help the other nonprofits. And that's an important thing to remember going forward. And all of you out there, as you come back to Los Cabos, please remember to help. And a lot of you help, but we can point you in the right direction of whatever kind of help you would like to give. Well, we're going to take a break, Claudia. We'll be right back, and we'll do a summary of what's happened in Spanish. And we have a couple other items to talk about, but stay with us.
Go.
Welcome back to Cabo Mil News and Community Update with Corey Riggs and Claudia Velo. Well, Claudia, that was a very interesting show today. It was fun. We got a lot of interesting talking in. And
the internet police, we'll have to see if the internet police
we'll see if we get banned, right? I mean, that's unfortunately the new thing happening too. So, well, we'll move on from that. Why don't we talk about surf and church?
Yes, do good things. Surfing's always fun, and just finding a moment to connect with your spiritual side is also always good. Sundays at the beach, Chileno Beach, 10:30 a.m. Look for the 3 surfboards, because there is a non-denominational service every Sunday, and the beach, no shoes required. I think you should wear a shirt, but it's really optional. And you can take your pets. Charlie is welcome. So.
Charlie's welcome. My dog, Charlie, he's going to be excited about that.
Yeah. So Sundays, 10:30 a.m. at Chileno Bay. Look for the 3 surfboards. Surfing Pastor, a really lovely non-denominational service.
That's great, Claudia. And why don't we go ahead and do a summary of the show in Spanish?
El día de hoy estuvimos hablando acerca del trabajo de la Alianza Comunitaria Bajacaliforniasur. Tuvimos algunos comentarios sobre un documental que se llama Social Dilemma, y también hablamos acerca de las noticias más recientes, sobre todo la transición al nivel 3 en Baja California Sur a partir de la próxima semana. Y música de Mauricio Montes de Oca.
And if you want to find out more about Mauricio, you can go to our Facebook page at Cabo Mil News, and that's where you're going to find this show, and you can watch it. There's maybe some bonus material today. And next week, Claudia, I'm so excited. This is one of the biggest guests that we could announce. We are going to have Fernando Landeros, the founder and president of Teletón. And Teletón, just so everyone knows, Teletón is one of the biggest foundations in Mexico. If you're familiar with the Jerry Lewis telethons that were for muscular dystrophy in the United States, this is based on that. They have rehabilitation centers all over Mexico. Fernando Landeros is an incredible human being, and we are so excited to have him on this show. Everyone should tune in, and it'll be not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday, and it's going to be a great show. So please tune in, 6 p.m. on Sunday, the 11th?
11th.
Okay, Sunday the 11th.
Don't miss it.
We'll be recording that on Facebook Live, and we'll send out a message when that's going to happen. That'll be happening before that. But Claudia, thank you for a great show today, and we'll see you soon.
Catch you next time.
Everybody take care.